You still miss out on one? Do you still do it?
I still dance on one. I like it. I think it's a very different feel when you dance on one. It's a little bit more flashy. It's a little bit more sharper. Sometimes it feels better with the music, because of the structure in music. Certain songs feel good to dance on two, and certain songs feel good to dance on one. So I like dancing it whenever I get the opportunity to. And but when I started dancing on two with Benny, he's not my first on two dance partner, but. But
He's like, make sure to play with the ring. My ring's still on. I'm the winner though. I'm
here. But he definitely did help me understand the essence of on two and what it's supposed to be. Not to say that my other dance partner didn't, but it was a different feel because when you're in the West Coast, you kind of get the saturated version of the on two. You have to really, really study. Right. We're not on camera.
Yeah, it's rolling, but so
thank you guys for tuning in. So we're just hopping in right now. We got Betty and Ashley in the house. Let's go. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I've looked into a lot of your guys', just like a few interviews. I really like the fact, just like the emphasis on social dancing. I love the fact that you guys are really trying to build a legacy. You guys care about the long term. You really care about the community, really just growing it. You just want more dancers in here. And that's just something that really aligns with our goal as the Salseros. We just want more social dancers out here. So we want to present a perspective, your guys' perspective to the community. And feel free to share whatever you want. I know right now we were just coming into a conversation, talking about whatever. Really, it's just an open conversation. And yeah, I'm excited. So thank you guys.
No, thank you guys for having us. Microphone 1, 2, what is it?
Yo, microphone check 1, 2, what is this?
So you just mentioned right now, you mentioned how salsa is not really considered like a serious dance or like a really technical dance compared to ballet and all the other like contemporary, more, I feel like older styles also, they're a little more, they got more years on them. I know salsa is a little newer. Is that part of the reason, or is there other factors involved? And do you guys agree with that? How do you feel about that?
I think the difference between what we call classical dancing and things like salsa, bachata, cumbia, merengue, all these other dances is like one of them was made for stage and in theaters and auditoriums, and one of them is made for like in the streets, dancing for social aspect, not meant to be on stage. That being said, once we started, I guess, using it with different other styles and transforming it evolved. And now what you see on stage in some cases is a fusion almost of salsa, bachata with the mix of some classical training or even influences as well. So I think the difference is we have to really understand and kind of say it over and over again, what is social dancing and when you're doing something for a stage. I think that's very important because sometimes those influences that when we're teaching classes or things like that, if you don't say that, someone was going to take something that it's meant for a stage or a show and do it in social dancing. And that's when you see people kind of either getting hurt or not enjoying the dancing as much because I think it needs to be a specific way. So I think the biggest thing that we can do so that the standard rises, and for our dances at least, is to try to be more overall well-rounded in all dances, at least to a certain intent.
Yeah, one of the reasons I feel that it's a little bit, I don't want to say that it's not respected because there are many, many people that support what we do as salseros and what bachateros do as well. There's so many people. If not, we wouldn't have these festivals and this community, right? So there are people that do respect it. However, it is meant to be fun. And since it's meant to be fun, the rules are a little bit more bendable. You can do this thing, stay on timing, do this, but now you can be off timing, you can dance on 3, you can dance on 1, you can dance on 2. There's more flexibility in our realm because it's not as strict. If it was strict, then we would look more classical, right? And I know that like in ballet, there's different styles of ballet. or in jazz, there's different styles of jazz and hip hop as well. In salsa, there is too. So I think it is a discipline that is not very strict. That still requires its technique. It still requires us to, if we want to look more Caribbean, more Cuban, then, you gotta study a little bit more Afro. If you want to look more classical, like Palladium era, then you gotta study more in twist. You gotta study more in jazz, different things. So there are different aspects. And I feel like sometimes as dancers, where we just think about the fun and we don't realize that salsa has so many components and eras, and so does bachata. But now we're seeing a new era in bachata, which is really cool.
That's why.
And it's something more to evolve and adapt. So it is a discipline. It's just more loose.
What kind of discipline, or where do you guys derive from, like your guys' style, like what you guys have described it as far as where? Yeah, I guess where do you guys pull from, like Palladium, how contemporary? I know you had training with Adolfo, right?
Yes.
So I'm guessing that also influences you a lot, right?
Yeah, I would say to a certain extent, yes, but to a certain extent, no, because I'm very much of the belief that most people would think, oh, I learned, a couple of years with Adolfo that I'm going to do the exact same style. In my eyes, it's not harder on myself, but it's even more kind of, how do I say it? It means even more to me that I know that style and I can do it, but I choose to do something else to prove that I can do something different. Not just be like, oh, I know that style and that's not what I like maybe, but that's what I know how to do. So I'm just going to keep doing that. It's kind of like for me, at least, because I dance with, as actually I stated, my other partner. And I was like, oh, like my brother Brandon. They were thinking,
Damn, what up? Yeah.
actually was looking at her,
We got that on camera.
And so, yeah, like I'm definitely against the belief of if it's not broke, don't fix it. I'm always like trying to change it. Like, okay, we did that time. Let's do something else. Let's keep changing. Let's keep evolving. For the newest show for Ashley and I that we did this year, we started diving into the realm of bachata a little bit, studying, what's it called, like undulations, body waves, things like that, body rolls.
Note, we are not bachata sensual dancers. We're not diminishing it. And we're just evolving and we're trying to learn everything that we can.
Today we took lessons to try and understand the why and how behind it, so we can not teach it, but so we can try and do it in our choreos.
So we can understand it.
So the new choreos that we did had a little bit of zouk as well, just to create different body shapes, so that it's not the same thing over and over and over and over. I think for me that's my favorite part.
I think I definitely have a huge influence on this because my previous instructor, the one that I've did all my years that I did my time with, was Grizzly Dance Company. So my instructor Grizzly, he loved tricks and he loved show, like Hollywood, show, stage, TV, all of that. So we were all about creating a spectacle, entertainment, right? And with Benny, I mentioned this a little bit in earlier with a couple of friends when we were eating, but I didn't really start focusing on the actual social aspect, I like to think about it as like New York dancing or Puerto Rican dancing. What I'm loosening up the body, feeling the leader, not assuming, connecting, stepping through my steps, all this, I started learning with Benny. Before that, it was all about the show, and that's all when I really cared about because it was engraved in me. But with that in mind, I'm lucky that my dance partner Benny wasn't so close-minded. When he first started dancing with me, he was like, in my mind, I was convinced I gotta learn how to dance like this because that's what's in. When New York is New York, it's the hub of everything. That's where all the dancing and the scene was being carried to, and a lot of New York style was being influenced in LA at the time where I lived. And Benny was like, no, just because it's that doesn't mean that we have to think that. Like on stage is stage, dancing is dancing, social dancing. So we gotta take what you learned with Grizzly and put that on the stage as well.
Evolve it.
Evolve it.
And see it, make it
Make it better.
that.
Exactly. So then I definitely evolved a lot with Benny, and I didn't really give up my roots and my technique and my spectacle because he didn't let me. If I'm being honest, but he utilized me to my strengths and helped me realize that I can still learn and do something.
Can you like maybe expound on what the benefits of social dancing is?
Yeah, for sure. I think very important, like what you just said, is that there's certain schools, certain instructors that focus on different things. In our school, we focus a lot around not only the performance part, but we also focus a lot around social dancing. But when stated, this is for social dancing class. This is not a technique training class to get better performing. This is just so you can use this in a social. And so the importance behind that is that this dance that we dance, bachata, salsa, speaking about because of where we're at the festival, is an improvisational dance. So what we're training how to read signals and how to follow signals, how to lead signals, how to lead bodies. And it's a big task because a lot of the times people are coming from different teachers, different styles, different influences. So what a right turn is to somebody might not be to somebody else, you know? Or even like yesterday, I started dancing on one with the lady. She got mad at me. She's like, no, I'll have that, you know, but just never. But and I think that's the difference. What you just said is actually the point behind it is like, whatever, you know, there's nothing, doesn't mean anything. We're just having like difference is, I think back in the day, maybe when I was younger and I'm trying to prove myself or something, I would have gotten mad because someone's trying to tell me what to do and I'm a pro and this and that, like egos come into play kind of. But now I think it's very important to note that social dancing is for fun. That's like rule number one. It's for fun. If you're not having fun, then you're not doing it right. Social dancing. I think it's very important to tell, especially in my school or in schools for instructors, to tell the students that, because they sometimes get so overwhelmed with trying to do things perfect that they forget that they're supposed to have fun. And that's why a lot of people stop dancing, because they think that's what it's supposed to be. And in reality, it's not.
I think that as instructors, it is very important that what we choreograph is also social when it comes to the action dancing. Something that Benny and I do, Ed, we've spoken with Ed as well, is we choreograph to the song.
The shows.
The shows. We're talking about a show. We choreograph to the song. If the song is telling me 2 spins, open, funk, I'm going to do that for beginner, intermediate, advanced, Benny and Mike choreo. It is what it is. The reason why I mentioned this is when I'm social dancing or when Benny's social dancing and he hears something, that's what he hears. 2 spins and an open. So what we do as instructors is the thing that is different is the kick, the leg, the little trick, the little dip. But the actual dancing, the cross-body lead, the opens, the spins, all of that is with the technique of social dancing. Fundamental technique. Because whether the person wants to do it or not, it's completely up to them, but at least they have the tools.
I'm saying a lot of quotes today, yeah? But yeah, Michael Jordan, to do the flash and all the stuff that he did, he was a master of fundamentals. That's why he could do everything in big, because he knew the fundamentals, understood his body, what it needed to do, and then he just added a little flair on top. I think that could be our thing too, like for our dancing.
This way,
we're showing fundamentals just done at a really high, intense speed, like intensity on 100, speed on 100, fundamentals. But actually, the kicks, the flair.
If you see our show last night, everyone's so impressed. It's not about the difficulty.
That's really humble.
Huh?
Everyone is.
But no.
You're welcome.
Where do I do it? That's not what I meant. What I mean is that we the higher level you get, the more flashy you can make it look.
Right.
But in reality, dissect the actual dancing. We're doing a crossfield lead, an open turn, open, what, 2 turns, maybe 1, 3, 5, 7, and then you add a couple of one-legged thing, a split, and prop. It's not what you're given; it's what you do. And a lot of the times, I think dancers focus on the performance because they think, oh, if I focus really hard on this and like I practice, I'm gonna get better. But in reality, we're practicing all the time. Social dancing, we're practicing. We're practicing when we give classes, we're practicing. When we're taking classes, we're practicing. When we're performing, we're practicing everything. And
Always it.
everything is a way to practice and a way to connect. And the social dancing is super work. Super important for anybody.
So
It's how we practice.
I remember Eder even mentioned how he calls social dancing the lab. It's just a place where he like works out a lot of like the kinks and just plays around a lot. And then I feel, at least for myself, I get a lot of inspiration when I'm dancing, and I have to like not take it so seriously, because if I do, then I just keep doing the same patterns over and over. So I have to really let loose and let myself make mistakes, and then I keep doing the same mistake, and then I get it, and then once it clicks, then it's a whole new thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's where like the social dancing aspect comes in, and even maybe circling it back to what we talked about in terms of the other dances that are supposedly more technical or in comparison to salsa. I feel like, well, maybe what I feel like is like with the social dancing aspect, it's not what they have. Like, I don't think they have a social dancing. Yeah. And one of our friends, he's an instructor. I think, I don't know if you guys know Chris. He's in QC, but he teaches contemporary or contemporary ballroom. Yeah, and he really talks about this, how like even the way they structure things, it's very technical, but it's also in his opinion, like he's mentioned, we'll probably have him on, so you'll clarify, bro. But yeah, in the future, yeah, we got to plan this out. But anyways, yeah, he said that it's very closed off. Like you don't get to feel the music really. To that, once you like take it to that extreme, you don't get to feel that music. And so for me, I have to be able to feel to be able to create. I think that's really like the essence of creation. Like if you're not in there, like it just becomes monotonous. And that goes into my next question for you, because I was listening to you guys in an interview, and you mentioned how sometimes like one of the struggles that you guys have is like making sure that you don't take it too seriously, because you still want to be able to innovate, and you still want to be able to create choreographies that are still new, something creative. I know you mentioned the central bachata you guys are going in. So what are some things that you guys do to just keep innovating, keep growing, and creating like new things?
I think it's always pushing. Well, now this is where the stage comes into play, right? Now, when it comes to performance, and nothing is off limits. You'll see people going from the air, coming down, spinning with the head like this, spinning with one leg this way, then they twist, or things like that. That's when you really challenge your body and you really challenge your balance, and it allows you to do different things with yourself, with a partner. There are different ways to challenge body movements as well, different ways to challenge arms and connections and twists, or things like that. But what really helps me is like studying different dances and studying videos and seeing not some what is out there, so that I don't do it. I can do something different, or be like, that's cool, that makes sense. Or let's say, for example, this turn pattern or this spin sequence, that would make sense with this. So it's take, pace, change, and make it different, make it Benny and Ashley, but give it, however, present it in a different way, give the people some renovation. We get often inspired by videos or like from people back in the days, like Johnny Vasquez, Francisco, Franklin Beaches, Sandorico, Yamule. And then sometimes it's not even the actual choreo, it's an expression. Maybe they stop and they're like, and you're like, oh, I like that expression. How can I take that expression and apply it to this? And I think of different ways to do it. So for us to continue innovating, it's just making the routine that we're doing better than the previous one. That is one aspect. Another aspect for me, which is more for us, right? Another aspect for me is teaching. When we went to Seattle, I love my Seattle Phoenix so much because they made us better teachers with the questions, with the, that doesn't mean ask more questions, but with the questions, with the very like
because
meticulous
they're not very
way of speaking.
what is the
Kinesthetic?
I don't know.
No. Maybe it's
It's the opposite of visual.
Is it like doing or
no, it's like
oh
intellectual.
intellectual? Yeah.
Like process, intellectual.
Yeah.
Like they
You can't just be like, do it like, you can't use even the word like for this. You have to, every word needs to have meaning behind it. And you have to be able to basically write it down and they read it and they do it. But if you just like, okay guys, watch me do it. And they're like,
do like this, do like that, do that. Then it's helped us become better teachers and
our classes have gotten better.
yes. And we started, like I said in class today, I told the people in the workshop, Benny and I can teach harder. We can do things that they probably are not going to understand, probably don't get. But then what is the point? You know, what is the point of coming to the festivals and the workshops? To challenge yourself.
There is some instructors that like that because the people that's pumped up.
Fulfill.
Yeah, like, I couldn't do it.
Shitting on that, bro. Conquer's door.
No, for me, for personally myself, it's like if everybody walks out, everybody walks out with a little bit of knowledge. It's like, and like we say, like what we teach it not for specific pattern. It's for any pattern that has a move like that. It can copy and paste like a formula.
Right.
That's what we're trying to teach. Formulas that you can
Lego blocks that you
easy. A plus B equals C. Everything should, in my opinion, when it comes to social dancing, be like this.
I know that we're young. I know we know that we probably look at that would like 21.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But we're old. But you know, we're very young, but we have been around for a long time. I've been dancing since I was 9. And when I was 9 years old, my mom would take me to the Congress. I was with her at all times. And then I could see the way that everything was, the way the teachers were and everything. And it was a very different time. From I was 9 till I was about when I was 18, those 9 years of me observing, it was watch, copy, did it. That was the teaching model and the teaching style. You know, hand goes up, spin 2 times. Hand goes up, spin 1 time. And it was the way that it was, because we were all at that time, all the instructors that were trying to figure out a way to teach something that was so natural to them. And it was really hard for them to express it and explain. Imagine something, I don't know, that becomes that is so natural. Someone's body isolation and body movement, like all their life, that is their culture. They grew up, they're like this boom, boom, like a little Cuban. You know, Afro-Cuban, it is their culture, it is their religion, it is the way that they live. Now I need to explain it to somebody. I do pum pum ba. Pum pum ba, it makes sense to me. Do you not get it?
And the problems with these things is that even though they are like treasures, like the treasure chest inside your mind, it doesn't have any value if you cannot put it out. Does that make sense?
Right.
So as teachers, actually myself, we try our best to not only be able to physically show, but also to be able to articulate with our words, with our meanings, to make sure everything has a purpose when we say it, so that the students get both. Now they can see it, and they're with the words they're getting details because they cannot feel me leading them or them feeling Ashley's hands. But I'm trying to explain it, she's trying to explain it, so it's like you're basically dancing with me. But for that, it's like the break gets right after.
To clarify, not to say that during all that time there wasn't good instructors. There are good instructors, and you can tell because most people gravitate towards them because they know how to explain. You know,
It's not that.
the
Yeah.
It's not that
Fulana is not good. Fulana is good, or Fulano is good. Like they're all good. Some people that know how to explain it, and you can feel this really connected with me. I really understand that explanation or that is
The concept,
concept or like the simile, no, the
metaphor.
metaphor.
Okay.
That metaphor. I really understood what that meant. I like this person. I'm going to continue taking classes with them. And most people gravitate towards that. They're creating a structure or a way of seeing things with what they could do, you know? And then that's when you can see people going to certain styles. And
And for me, I'm gonna say it, and then we're gonna move on.
Okay.
that is
Inspiration is Kanye West.
Oh, there you go.
I thought he was joking. Dude,
Oh, let's go.
where did you even find this information? I was trying to Google that earlier.
This is serious.
I mean,
Every posting, every other post, really story, the Kanye West. Yeah, I know. I get in trouble. Kanye song, and it's a black. That's one, and then the second one is literally a black backdrop with white right. That's all it is.
well,
Yeah.
it's not that he while at Benny's feet, but I'm gonna
Actually, want to move away from this.
I don't want you guys to attack me. But it's not that he values or views his views. And I know that sometimes that as a viewer, you can say, oh, you follow this person, you like everything that this person does. Yes, maybe, right? When you follow certain people and you support them, it's a little bit hard to separate. But we separate the artist from
The person, yeah.
and as an artist,
Yeah.
not that I'm supporting Kanye, but as an artist, he does bring to light a lot of things that are like different sound, different things, music videos, like
He's a genius. Yeah. I love Kanye. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, like, whenever we put out a new album or
But he goes crazy.
when the character changes, like his clothes change, the shape, everything, it's pretty like making a show now. And use the inspiration of the sounds that we heard and kind of like what they were trying to say, the sounds, and then be like, oh, how can we add this to our shows?
Yeah.
Even from the music that we choose, usually for our shows, people wouldn't normally do it because the music that we choose for our shows they're very epic, but very grand.
Oh, melodramatic.
Yeah. So it's kind of like when they said like what was it called? Like the movie, the Queen movie, it's Freddie Mercury, Bohemian Rhapsody. Like the song Bohemian Rhapsody is like nobody would play that on the radio. Oh, dude, that's like too weird.
Mm-hmm.
But for us, a song like that makes sense because of how many sounds it has in one song.
Diversity.
Yes, you can do so many things, and if it's a song that's 7-8 minutes long, you can back it into 2 minutes. If you're good at cutting music first, it's gonna be a good start.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard.
Ed's been teaching me.
Yeah.
Benny used to cut our music like this. And I was like, and it still needs to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And through time, he started listening to me more so that it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but he could still be a little creative.
And then something that I always say too is the inspiration behind the shows are not songs that I genuinely like.
Yeah.
It's not something that I would play that at the social. Because I feel like if you like the song so much, then it's going to be probably a bad show. Because you're so in love with the song that you cannot see that it's not going to be a good show.
Like blind spots.
Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I want to cut this song, but this part's so good, and this is
Yeah.
parts, and look at this, I love this. And so for me, when I'm listening to music, especially for shows, I'm more thinking, what is it going to look like on stage? Or usually I think about what are we wearing, what color are we wearing? Or like trying to build literally like Kanye, like the whole
picture.
before it's out, so that you understand if it's going to be good or not. Because we've started a lot of shows and it's like it's just a salsa show, and I don't want to just do salsa shows. I want to do like movies with character,
Stories.
everything.
Yeah.
So like with my brother and with Ashley, I feel like it's very important, those things. So we usually only put stuff out when we're really, really inspired. Otherwise, it doesn't work. And even then, like, it still takes a long time. Most of our shows typically like 1 year to prep and prime and then put it on stage. Yeah, sure.
Going back to the original question.
So what inspires you? He forgot the question. You talked so long.
It's okay, we forgot too. I just said Kanye. I'm like, edit this.
I mean, I got a good point to go off from there, but if you want to add something real quick, okay, cool. No, not so much about going to Kanye. I love Kanye's creative process. That's like the thing that I just like, the way he expresses himself and the way he tries to challenge himself. Every album is something different. Every album is a different feel. Every album is like a new story. It's a new version. It's a new perspective.
Mhm.
And that's creativity. And I feel like, in my like opinion, like I have to live life. If not, I can't create that well. You know, like I can't be like creating from the same space that I got from. So I was so against sensual bachata. Like I'm like very a reserved person. So trying to be like closer and intimate it's like a thing that kind of pushes me away. But through that, I've discovered so many new avenues of different forms of expression. So I think that that's that's a great approach. How do you guys feel about the creative process, like on a social dance floor? How's your creative process like compared to, you have your performances and then you have your social dances?
I think for me, I'll give you guys the serious one and I'll give you the funny movie.
Okay.
So like on my serious take, I'm trying every song I dance, I'm trying to do a show, a performance, but not through splits and kicks and dips. I'm trying to musicalize the pattern that I'm doing or the emotion or intention to what the music is saying at the same time. So it's not like I'm hearing it and then I do it 1/8 count later. Is as I'm doing a cross-body lead and like I can feel the music reach the highs and lows. I'm trying to adapt at the same time. Doesn't have to be an art pattern. It can be literally a turn with cross-body lead. But if you're doing it with elongation or more snap, things like that, more body movement, things like that, then for me, that's the highs of social dancing, is making shows in 2-3 minutes with somebody that you don't even know. For me, that's a good lead, a good social dancer. Someone that can create literally magic in front of people and you don't even know the songs. I don't even know some salsa like that. I don't know the song. Because there are some dancers that listen to social music so much that they know the songs. Actually, the salsa that 100% wakes up and he was asleep listening to salsa. I only listen to salsa when I'm teaching.
What do you listen to? I'm sure.
Rap.
Oh, okay.
Kanye.
Oh, yeah.
Old school rap. Like, old rap.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love Nas. I love Talib, Kweli, Mos Def, Wu-Tang Clan. Like, just the grind and like the aggression. Yeah, I don't have to. We'll see. That's my favorite kind of music. Those are the kind of emotions and intentions where what they're saying, what they're words, where I'm trying to put out patterns with the basic beat. And then my funny one, really quick, is I think about social dancing like Ultra Instinct. Go, let's go.
Let's go. Yeah.
Like a little gif all the time.
On their butt when you enter state of flow, there's some things that I do and I don't even think that I should do it again. And I cannot do it.
You cannot do it. It frustrates
because it wasn't there and my body did it and I was in a position to, let's try this out. But I don't choose to do it. So sometimes when we're practicing and we don't only record what we want to do, we record almost the whole practice. Or so I can go back and be like, dude, that was hot. We gotta put that. I don't know what I did, but now let's put it into counts.
Or sometimes we'll practice, we'll warm up social dancing, but like intense social dancing where he's challenging me and things like that. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna warm up before we actually practice our routines and stuff. But we're gonna record because I know you're gonna forget everything that we just did.
Dude.
So I'll record him and I'm like, okay, let's go back, let's see this, study this, let's practice that. For me, when I social dance, I think of social dancing like communicate. As a follow, it's so easy for follows to feel that they're not in control. But when I dance, I am so in control of what I'm doing and also how I can respond to the leader. Some leaders are so very passive, and as a follower, you could be like, well, I'm going to dance like this, and no. But I'm like, okay, cool. Oh, it will be relaxed. And let me enjoy this. That means that I can be a little bit more like wobbly. I can move more my hips. I can move more my body. Let me connect with this person. And it doesn't really matter the music. At that point, I can understand that person and how to act. And they're probably dancing the way they feel and the way their attitude actually is and their personality. And I love it because I'm like, hey, this person, now this other person. Oh, connects more. Oh, travels more. Okay, I got to be more on my legs. This person likes to spin more. So this person likes to feel like above, more free. Must show me a little bit more. I'm going to use that and move my hips more. This person likes to do a little bit more. Is the Cuban influence. That's one Cuban. I think about social dancing as a way for me to be a good listener and to respond correctly to what is being done. So my whole creative process is through this, I've created an outline of what this person can talk. How can I add to it or move around it without disturbing this person? And that's when it becomes more challenging, but that's when I'm in control. And I think that it's important for follows to not feel overwhelmed or not feel that they're not in control. You need to be so good, and you need to be so patient that if you didn't understand the first time, it's okay. Let's try again. Let's see what's going on. Maybe let me try a different technique. Loosen up more, frame up more, move less, stay closer, go a little bit farther. I think that is something that is missed a lot in social dancing, but it can make every dance different.
No, thing I'll say is don't teach in the dance floor when you're social dancing. Teach them down. Don't stop people and be like, you have to like this. Nasty.
I think it's worse when you say like you're dancing next to them and you're like,
Yeah, those were really good points. I don't know. Golden nuggets everywhere. That's gonna be on the reels.
Yeah.
Those are going on the reels right there. But you want to
I had a question because you mentioned the Cuban and what you were saying, like that's their life, their culture.
Yeah.
Something that I've noticed, like for example, Denny was teaching us one day we were practicing and we were getting into different Cuban dances and stuff like that and learning all that. And then he himself was like, oh, like I want to be as reserved as I can teaching this because it's not mine and all that. So like, how do you?
We do the same.
Is there any way to basically make it so it's because, for example, for me, I was like, oh, like, I still want to learn like what you know. So how would you tell for teachers, right? Like how do you teach that? How would you make it better? So if I want to learn, right, like how, and I want to know what he knows, then how does that work?
The difference is that fortunately / unfortunately in Cuban dancing, there's like an unwritten rule that if you're not it's almost like a certification of passing down through certain schools or certain teachers, like Cuba, then you're not almost authorized to teach that. That's why when a lot of the fusion people that do fusion, they call it salsa fusion, are doing Afro-Cuban steps, chango, they're doing all these things, but they're not doing it with the technique that is from Cuba. They're not doing it with the same intention or even the same music sometimes. There's certain songs that go to certain gods, certain steps. So when you start to just do, Mark Anthony and I'm doing chango or I'm doing things like that, like it doesn't...
It's offensive.
For them, it's offensive. It's almost, I remember one time, it's like one of my friends, we went to a Chinese food place and they gave him a tea and he was like stirring with the chopsticks or something like that. That's offensive. It could be offensive to some people, right? Some cultures. So for this sense, like if unless you're certified from a Cuban teacher, you're really not authorized almost to do that. But actually, sometimes, like you're saying, sometimes you have students like, I want to learn a little bit. I want to do this. We tell them straight up, we can show you what we know, but we're not like masters at Afro-Cuban. And then we tell them who they should go and train with. Like our good friends, Jorge Nindira in Las Vegas. Or, of course, we have other instructors like in Mexico, Iván Valdespino.
Yes.
Very good. Or one of Ashley's coaches / mentors that she was training with for a bit while Wednesday.
Yeah, but he does Afro contemporary, so it's a little bit different.
But like those kind of masters that people like, you just say their name and everybody that does that Afro Cuban knows what that is.
Yes.
It's kind of like that.
Or that you study with
What's Latina in Italy?
But let's go back to how we as instructors, that is not our culture, how do we act this and how do we teach it? One of the most important things in Afro-Cuban is the bolero, is the bounce. We bounce in salsa all the time. And not that we're like out about those, right? But there's a way to bend and there's a way to bounce, and you can always incorporate that in your salsa classes. So maybe we're not teaching them the actual Afro steps, but we're teaching them that intention, how to move your chest, how to move your knees. If we're going to do a little bit of rumba, which rumba is like playful. Anybody can teach rumba respectfully, but it's something that is not as strict or is not as structured or cultural or religion after, right? Now we have salsa fusion. People can teach an approach with salsa fusion, and that's a little bit more acceptable, right? Ernesto and Denise, they do this very well, that they teach some Afro-Cuban steps in their salsa, but they don't say they're Afro-Cuban masters. They always say that they're using, and they study from Marisol Blanco,
Which is their,
so they can always, if they're like, let's say, for example, when there are people that challenge us in our classes, if they ever get challenged and they have backing from somebody that can be like, well, my teacher taught me this and she's studied from here and that. That's where not everybody has that, but you can still incorporate some aspects. Like we incorporate the bolero or the bounce all the time from day one. Salsa 101, we're not teaching about 5, 6, 7. We're teaching you bounce. Because somebody walks in the bar, they don't know how to bounce. They barely know how to two-step. Like a step tap. So you come into, you think you're going to dance salsa. No, you're going to learn how to bounce. You're going to learn how to bounce. You're going to learn how to open 1, 3, 5, merengue, ta. We're going to learn all of that first. Because it's very important for the dance.
to look organic.
To look
It
organic.
did not look like you bought it. You got it from a cereal box.
Yeah.
Wish.com.
You see, those are crazy.
So yes, even though we are very respectful to the culture, we do add and incorporate some things, especially when we're doing our more advanced classes. When we do our more advanced classes in Seattle, we'll be like, okay, guys, we're going to do Rumba. Or I'll always say, like we taught a Shine's class yesterday here in San Diego. And they said, guys, I know the Rumba usually is on 1 and 5, but today we're going to do it on 3. Simple. I'm telling you, I know the rules. I'm breaking them. Yeah. So later on, like if somebody wants to come at me in the video, that's okay. Because the people that were there know that I said, these are the rules, but I'm breaking them.
That's a good point because Angel Permanente does that. And he has a clip where he talks about like the crossbody and how it should be. And obviously everybody has their own style, but he's like teaching his students. It's like whole clipping. It's all like, I'm teaching the crossbody. And yeah, like sometimes when I'm social dancing, like I might overextend my arm, but in reality, it's like, I know what the rules are. And therefore, because I know the rules, I might be breaking them, but at least I consciously know that I'm breaking them versus just breaking them because I want to dance crazy or whatever. So yeah, sorry, just wanted to add that.
And to Angel's point as well, I mean, this is something that I think all of us say, know the rules. You can bend them, you can break them, you can twist them, but the rules are school rules.
Yeah, as long as you know.
That's what makes our dance more flexible.
All right.
I always say that. As long as you know that you're consciously doing it and it's not because you can't.
Yeah.
I always tell students that if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it like that. But first show me you can. And then tell me you don't want to.
Right.
Because a lot of people will be like, I can't do that. I don't want to do that. Can you do it? No, but I don't want to do that. I'm like, well, do it first and then we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I have a question. Yes, I guess it ties into like your aesthetic, like showmanship and everything. Like, what about how I noticed every time you visit Phoenix or just when I see you out at some congress, you dress a certain way. Where do you get your aesthetic? You show up to Ed's Oasis looking like a monster. Yeah, like these shiny black gloves. Like, I remember asking, like, the first time I approached you, I was like, hey, my friend wants to dance with you. Well, I was kind of scared to approach you myself. I'm like,
Because of the gloves.
you look pretty intimidating. Like, all suited up. But yeah, it was working.
Last year's trend,
Before Benny talks about his fashion,
like flow.
all you gotta know from me is, as his wife, I love him, I support him. But sometimes I'm like, come on, baby, but be normal. But I know that this is who he is.
Now I asked Ashley who she gets her fashion advice from.
Wow.
I'm not gonna lie, like, you know, his mom. Not just but she does give me some fashion.
No,
But Benny too.
I pull a lot, obviously, from Kanye, but I think also from all the brands that he's kind of brought into the spotlight. I think it's very important to try and stay fresh and up to date. So to me, I don't really shop a lot, but if I like seeing stuff, like just going out, I wouldn't call it window shopping because if I want, I can buy it.
Hey.
And I'm going out to see what's out. A lot of the times I don't really know what's out unless I go out. Or I'm really fortunate to be able to travel with Ashley or with Brandon and see what people are wearing in different places and be like, oh, that's cool. That's really nice. When you go out to Italy, everybody that since years ago now, they've been dressing baggy, oversized for years. At the pants, but this is like
In the tech rehearsals,
leather jackets, turtlenecks,
turtlenecks, belts, blouse pants, big
Yes.
boots, and you're like,
like, brother, that doesn't count a
Are
fucking
you
GQ.
doing something like this?
Yeah. And he goes on stage with his actually boom with leather jacket on, like clearance tricks. Bro,
well, not so much stripped,
but
but
I'm saying
Power in them.
the first time I went to the specific congress was in Zeno in Naples, in Italy, and they were dressed like that. Everybody was dressed like that, and we come in, with like our Nikes or
easy.
And a wide beater.
black tears are
Normal people clothes.
I had never felt so out of place, and since that day, I think I started trying to dress better at all times because I was like, you know what? If somebody wants to feel underdressed, that's not my fault. But at least when I leave my room or where I'm getting ready, I want to look as presentable as I can, even if sometimes it is too much, But the reason being because I don't want to be in a position.
Yeah, you want to flex. We just
When we're in Italy, we try to make US State proud.
Yeah.
There you go. Represent.
you got better standards of it.
Yeah, I mean, to Benny's point, I think that we're always thinking about practicing and feel comfortable. And you'll see sometimes in our videos we'll look comfortable, and not that we're uncomfortable here, but we also need to appeal to the younger generation, the younger crowd, and fashion. Fashion always appeals to the younger crowd, although it can be a little intimidating too, which this is why we like to show our personality a lot so that people know that we're very approachable.
Right.
But we definitely want salsa to be like, bachata central right now. It's popping because fashion, fancy dips, movements, all of that. So we're like, okay, salsa, it needs to be the same. We need to keep it alive. And that's what,
Like, I think for me, like right now, the biggest fashion trend I'm trying to do is and they're doing it in other places in the world, but in the USA, the boots, the Lux sole.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's really in right now. But it's
really in somewhere else.
It's only in if you wear like your pants baggy. Because if it's like a tight pant and then a big shoe,
Yeah.
it looks funny. So it has to be a big pant with a big shoe. It can't either be like a big pant with a small shoe. That would look funny too.
Yeah.
So I think for me, that's the biggest fashion trend. And like something that I didn't think about, but I started thinking it's actually changed the way I'm dancing. Because shines, I cannot do shines in boots like that. Just my knees like get destroyed probably.
Right.
But what I'm noticing is like the intention or intensity that I'm dancing with is also calmed down because my steps need to be more precise. and I cannot pivot as fast, things like that. So it's changing the way I'm dancing. I'm finding my dancing more enjoyable now with the big shoes. But if I have the freedom of basically like dance shoes, like the ones that we dance on stage with, I feel like I can do anything in shoes.
Feel like Goku when you have the first.
Yeah, exactly. That should go to how fast is exactly what I was saying. Yo, I feel like Goku. He's just faster. That's how I feel. And sometimes, like some of the dancers will be like, "Bro, like, how are you dancing that fast with the boots on?" And I'm just like,
Had the weight on.
"It's ultra instinct." Yeah. So
Can we go into that though?
Yeah.
Interesting. Can you explain it? How does it feel, and like how do you get there? Like from your
It's not a real thing, but it's
no, I mean it is a real thing. Bro. Yeah.
all right. It is far. That's
Okay, so Benny can gather his thoughts on this. He is such a Dragon Ball Z fan, and when we first started dancing together, he'd be like, "Oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to." It's like fighting. And at the beginning, we're like, "What are you talking about?" And I started watching Dragon Ball Z, but I didn't watch it to be like, "Oh yeah, this cartoon cool." No, I was actually watching it. All right, let me try to get into Benny's brain and see how this relates to dancing. It actually helped me a lot to understand weight transfers coming into movements. Like when you're fighting, right? Or when you're thinking of something, you don't want someone to hit you, so they come into you, move away, right? So if I'm thinking about I'm about to turn, I'm doing like 6-7, Benny comes into me, I move away. It made complete sense in a different way. And when Ultra Instinct came, right, in the later episodes, all I have to say, it was like magic. It made complete sense with your eyes closed, feeling it moving, and it is difficult. But if I close my eyes and I try to feel Benny the movements, I have to be so still, I have to be so quiet, but I have to let everything move that it is and try to connect. And it's a good way to practice.
I think it would apply more for the follow. I guess more ultra instinct.
I think it's both. I think it's both.
in terms of the lead, the way it applies, it's kind of like when you're seeing martial arts, but I guess in this side of I wouldn't say UFC as much. I feel like boxing more. UFC I'm not gonna say it's not hard, but boxing does have a certain type of skill, which is to evade, and you can't grab the other guy. It's different when you can't grab him. It's harder to catch him. So in boxing, there's the slipping, the moving side to side to try and get your opponent to do a mistake, right? In my social dancing, when I'm trying to think about ultra instinct, I'm trying to get my follow to make a mistake with their body weight so that I don't have to use my hand. I don't have to throw my body weight. It's more like a feint. And once they react, then I just lift my arm up and I do something else. So it's not like I'm doing this motion to get her to turn. Now I'm just doing this. She goes, and then I just do it. So it's easier. So all of the stuff that I'm trying to do, I'm trying to create more shapes by using her own momentum to be able to move her. So I don't have to physically move her. I'm just basically telling her to come forward. When she does commit, then I can start doing more things. If I have to physically lead her and then do my thing, this takes too long. So that's how I see the ultra instinct in social dancing. But to do that, you have to know the pattern that you want to do. You have to know how to do it with physical, I guess. And then you have to understand what she is going to do.
And you need to understand your own body.
And you have to understand your own body weight as well. How long are you going to take you to spin? How flexible are you? Some people can't even touch the shoulder. So like to get them to do certain shapes is hard. But that's how I see it. Doing something and thinking about it, and then it just happens. You don't know, but your body just did it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you're playing video games and you're like this, like ultra instinct. That's ultra ego. Like there's no where the buttons are.
What's their ego?
Ultra ego is when we go on stage. Yesterday was in our show. If you guys saw it, that was the definition of ultra ego. Yeah.
For ourselves.
Ashley and I, like when we see it and everything we do, especially on stage, is I always go back to Michael Jordan. like in the NBA final, I want shows and costumes and the music and the emotion to be memorable. I don't want it to be, oh, it's the big Salsa show. I want to be like, wow, that was different. I had never seen that before. Whether it's the same show you've seen on YouTube or whatever, but it's you're gonna know that every time we do it, it will be a little bit different because the raw emotion we're doing it with is different. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So,
we really feed off of how.
and our friends too. Like sometimes if our friends are higher up in the lineup or they're below us or like things like that, is friendly trash talking.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, okay, you think you're cute? Okay, I'm gonna pull up and let's see if you can match me. So sometimes there's just raw emotion and it makes it fun.
Anita, if you're watching this, I try to stop them.
So does your family clean? I mean, I know that my dad's academy, you started with that, right? Too.
Yes,
That's
that's mom's school.
That's your what?
My mom's school.
Oh,
She's my first teacher.
okay.
Mom's been dancing.
Okay, okay. What's the history behind that, or how did that come to?
My mom's been dancing for a lot, like more than, I would say more than, it's been rich, 40 years? No, 40 years. More than 40 years. She used to dance in Mexico, dancing what they call salsa sonidera
Really?
in the streets. She started dancing with
Also, the
ballet folklorico, and for many years. And then also
What part of Mexico?
Puebla and Mexico City.
Okay, okay.
And then, yeah, I mean, her main thing now, and for a while it was quinceañeras.
Nice.
So a woman, like, in the city where we live, she's like to go quinceañeras, like, she has professional chambelanes, like all that stuff. And that's how we started dancing.
All right. How many kids again were you?
A lot, bro. I was in quinceañera for like 10 years. And so that's where you develop showmanship. Lines, showmanship, and not being shy of performing is like, because the difference between performing in a quinceañera, performing on stage people pay to see you.
Oh, the and just keep on cooperating.
In a quinceañera, like people on the fall, they're eating, no one cares about you. You're like, you're just there. I don't like dancing like that, and so that is hard. It's very difficult, especially if you take what you do seriously. If you don't care,
Yes. Yeah.
but if you take what you do seriously, it's kind of like demeaning us. You feel so to kind of go past that and be like, I'm just gonna perform because I love it. Then it's like in the quinceañera doing. So all the guys that dance in our school in Oregon, in our mom's school, they all go through that process of doing quinceañera.
So real quick, don't you have a new studio?
We do know
Yes.
What's the name?
The name of our studio is Baila District. It's in Seattle. It is a project that we formed with a team or a specific, like two people named their corporate or company or whatever. It wasn't really like a studio. It was more like a group of socials, Bachata Seattle, or like a B2B for internet.
You know, like the QC. I don't know if you guys ever heard of the Cuepa boys.
Yeah.
They did Cuepa nights, like in the,
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that. And we joined forces with them, and we opened up a studio in Seattle because Hillsboro is a very tiny little city. And okay, it's not super tiny, but it is small.
Yeah.
In Oregon, it's not exactly. We didn't want to open up a studio in Portland or in Hillsboro to create that unwanted competition with the family. So we started going to.
You know that awkward thing feeling?
We started going to Seattle to build a community there. And we realized that there was so many eager dancers that wanted a stable instructor that lived in the city. And they were so eager to learn. Yes, like we knew it because of their questions. We knew it because they're like would practice after. They'd go attend socials and different things. And the salsa was kind of like slowing down there because there wasn't anybody that was really teaching. More difficult.
Shut down because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
There was only like 1 or 2 surviving studios out of 10.
So we're specifically for salsa, but
Yeah, for salsa and bachata.
All like out, obviously, like immigrant sales expensive.
Yeah.
So
Luckily with our partners, they helped us and pushed us to, hey, come over here, come do this, come do that. And we're able to open up a studio, and we're also still able to come to these events and continue to grow with our peers and continue to show the world what we have to offer as well. So we're very thankful in being able to do both. But if you do want to catch us Monday through Thursday, we are in Seattle at Baila District.
Awesome. Y'all heard that.
I guess real quick, so you started a dance studio in Seattle, and I guess for us, just being, I don't know, quote unquote, the media guys, sounds kind of cheesy, but do you have any advice or just like what you've seen in Seattle where, what would you say would help social dancers of the scene kind of grow locally and not potentially die out? Like what would,
All over in the world.
just, if you go to the scene, you're like, oh, there's like a pro in a city like that in some way or another, it means a lot, have that kind of credibility. Like with Ed, like winning competitions and coming back, like it makes Phoenix, like now we have random people from out of state just stop by and be like, yeah, how God you shoot with Ed? I'm like, yeah, really good season. But yeah, like, all the way.
Right now.
It's not that deep, but yeah,
To your point, it definitely puts a marker.
yeah.
Like, for example, people only know of Portland, Oregon because of Betty and Brandon,
Right.
right? So they're like, oh, Portland, Oregon? Oh, like, you was train with Betty and Brandon. It makes people be able to put a face
Yeah.
to the place.
Right.
And that's why we go to these festivals too, as well. Not only to offer what we can, but also for people to be like, oh, Seattle, Benny and Ashley, let's go to Seattle. Let's do this. However, or play dancers in the scene now, and we put a lot of pressure on their dancers because we're like, when we go to these festivals, they know now, Seattle, Benny and Ashley, you guys need to train. You need to know.
Right, been over here.
I'm lucky. He's messing with you. He sucks.
You need to know how to social dance. We need to be a good performer. You need to be likable. We need to build this community because if they're going to come here and they're going to be like, oh, Benny and Ashley, right?
Yeah.
It should be something that is like a good community. It should be good dancing. Not necessarily difficult. I'm not saying difficult. I'm just saying fun.
Having a well-balanced standards are here in school.
Yeah.
Exactly. And everything. Salsa and bachata.
Right.
People that just, I think the one advice to end it can be to focus on the community, but also the dancers themselves not use that word community for everything. Because I feel like sometimes if, Ashley and I say we want to build community, then we're trying our best and we're doing this and we're doing that. And then sometimes, somebody comes around and says, hey, you said you wanted to build a community and do this, but now you're not letting us do this. And it's kind of like, you're using that word very loosely. So I feel like there's a give and take there between instructors and students. And I feel like as long as the communication is open, that's the most important thing I think for the social dancing in general, an aspect is instructors knowing how to help the students get to what they want, but also understanding that the instructors do things for a reason. So like for us, in our case, like we push our students to perform if they want to, but we push them to be almost like at a professional level if they want to perform. There's a team for that, and there's teams just to have fun. For the people that tell us, like, yo, I want to be better, I want to do this, I want to do that. It's better that they tell us because it's okay. Now I have you. Now you told me you want this. I'm going to show you how to get there, but it's not going to be easy.
Right.
And so when it comes to things like social dancing,
We're still very understanding and patient.
yeah, of course, very understanding and very patient. But I think this word community needs to be used correctly. Yeah, from us, the directors and instructors, and from students who say they want to build communities, but then maybe are not doing the best choices for the community. Right. Where it's like sometimes there's certain students that don't like to train, or I know like in some cities maybe they'll clown you if you're like taking classes, dude. Like, you're taking classes.
Yeah.
You should just be good. You shouldn't take classes with it.
Yeah, why do you want to get better? You think you're better than us now? Yeah.
Like, I understand that, but then don't say that's my community.
Right.
And I think the last thing I want to say before you guys ask anything else is whether you're an instructor, a student, a dancer, it is so important to learn from the past, from the present, and anything coming next, the new generation. I know a lot of the times we can fault instructors because maybe they don't explain a lot. It is important to have different ways of learning too. You have to not only learn because an instructor is explaining to you step by step, weight by weight, shift by shift. You can also learn with your eyes. You can also learn with your movement, your body. There's a lot of different ways to learn. And there's so many things you can take from different aspects. From maybe the way something is explained in Zouk or in Bachata Central or in traditional or, all these different aspects. You can take that and incorporate that. For example, for us in Salsa, we can incorporate what we learned in traditional, what we learned in Central, what we learned in Zouk, what we learned in all these areas. And I'm not calling myself a master in those areas. I'm just taking maybe an analogy or a way of teaching that they're doing and applying it to help my students be able to understand it in a different way, because we don't all learn the same. Yeah, or looking at a past video. If it worked for so many years for these instructors, Eddie Torres, Franklin Diaz, Frankie Martinez, I messed up those names. But at all night, all it worked for them and the students that they brought up for a reason. We need to go back and we need to see that as regular spectators, dancers, and also as instructors.
So it's a good one. Yeah. Just to wrap it up, seems like the rabbit hole you're going down, even though you're instructors yourselves, in a way, you're forever students too. It's in a way like just seeking knowledge always.
I feel like I keep talking for another hour.
Yeah,
I know. We don't want to keep. It's fun though. I mean, that's like the person.
there's more to be talked about in the future.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely man.
So I'll try. Yeah.
I can sit down. Yeah.
Just count.
Close it off with the quote. Yeah, cool. Hit me with the quote.
You want the energy?
Okay, yeah, I'll finish up with what I have to say about that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's very cliche to say a forever student, but it's not completely wrong. I think for myself, at least, I am a student, but something that actually I've been doing recently is like learning from just like everything that happens, everything that, whether it's, communication with somebody or something happens and the way somebody reacts or, just life happening. We're trying our best to learn from that. And then how do you apply that to dancing? How do you bring that into the world that we are in? I feel like that people sometimes need to move on from dancing and just, that you can still learn at just like, because I feel like a lot of the times we feel like, I can say I'm 30 and I feel more like 17, 18 than I did when I was 18. I feel younger now in my mind, like in terms of learning and not being a complete adult. Because most people just think, oh, this is what people think adult is. Oh, I have my own place, I have a car, I have a job, and I'm adult. Nobody can tell me nothing. And the way I am is the way I am. Whatever you like it, some people are like that. And I feel like sometimes we focus so much on learning about dancing, learning about how to learning about something, but we have to remember that we have to learn at life too. And all of the things that happen because of sometimes we're closed-minded and you're not understanding why something happened. You're just like, well, that's how it is and whatever, move on from it. But that's not how it works. Really something that actually myself have been really trying to progress this year, last year too, is to learn from every incident, good and bad, that happens. Why did it happen? How can we prevent it? We talk a lot, just trying to be the best humans that we can in terms of at least when you're around us,
I mean, just like Betty said, everybody makes mistakes. Or maybe we all have an opinion about something first. That doesn't mean that is our opinion about it all the time. You can get exposed to it by somebody different and make you completely change what you thought about what it is. And now you can see how that correlates and helps with your everyday. So for anybody, be like Goku.
Don't be a student.
I like it. Yeah, let's go.
Be a dance student only. Be a student at like
Out of bar.
Oh, there we go. We're gonna quote that. Benny and Ashley, 2024. 2024.
I'm about to come by later and drop some bars on you. With
Yeah.
I got the bars on.
Oh, hey, play a beat, play a beat. Hey,
I'm Drake. I know.
hey, you're about to rap with the horn right here too. Hey, the boy raps right here too.
Hey, Cypher?
That'd be cool.
Should I come in with a white beater, a little scully on?
You gotta fuck it. Hey, thank you, bro. All right, yeah, great conversation. Goodbye. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.